This is a yard sign, $99. It goes up at 6 in the morning and comes down the next day. Done right, it's a $70,000 a year side hustle, run by a full-time mom who still has all the time in the world for her kid. And here's the deal, you don't need to buy a company to do this. You could start this with almost nothing. But Noel's story is bigger than a sign. A driver fell asleep behind the wheel. Her husband didn't come home. She was 36 years old. So the question is, do you want more out of life like Noel did? Let's get into how she overcame crippling grief, found purpose, and is pushing into a six-figure business by 2027, and how you can do it too.
The BA Podcast.
We're going to jump right into it. Because that's really the idea behind it. Because
yes.
You had I don't know what I would call a severe situation.
Where life
you had
decided to flip the table and say, figure it out.
Yeah, you had a life-altering experience,
Yes.
and we want to talk about it because it takes us to where you're at today. And it happens to be about your husband,
Yes.
who is no longer with us. So let's start with the story and tell us kind of what happened and how you found out and how you got to here.
Yeah. So I met Dave at work. He was a nurse at a hospital, and I was a phlebotomist. And I remember I was actually still training. You know, we'd go to different floors of the hospital and draw people's blood for labs. And I was at the nurse's station, and he walked up and he's like, "So you like your job?" I was like, "Oh, geez, who's this old dude?" But at the time I was like, "Absolutely, I love it." And he's like, "Oh, give it some time." And I said, "No, seriously." I go, "I stab people with needles all day. I'm doing roller derby at night. Like, I'm probably the happiest person you will ever meet, right? No anger issues
I
at all."
forgot you did roller derby.
So
I
I was
that.
like,
Yes.
seriously, I love my job. And he asked me out, and it took 4 months for me to say yes. And we finally did, and it was a whirlwind. Like within a year, we were married. Awesome. 9 months after that, we had Harper. By then I was a stay-at-home mom because he could work 2 overtime shifts a month and make more than what I made working full-time as a phlebotomist. So I was a stay-at-home mom, and we actually moved from Olympia, Washington up to Marysville, Washington. And he was still working a ton. It's just who he was anyways. And I had gone to Enumclaw, where my sister lives in the foothills of Mount Rainier, about an hour-ish, hour and 20 away, and just to spend time. And he came down to Enumclaw to see us. We were playing at a park, you know, everything. My sister ended up taking Harper home, so Dave and I could just, you know, chit-chat and talk. And I remember looking at him, and I said, "Hey, why don't you come back to the house for a little bit?" And he was like, No, I got to go to work, you know, in the morning. I'm going to head home. And he had his motorcycle. And I was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, Yeah, I'm going to head home. Love you. You know, he went on his way. And I said, "Call me. Let me know you made it home okay." So get home. It's already after 9:00. You know, Harper's already in bed. Start to wind down, waiting for my phone to go off, and it doesn't go off. I wake up and I look at it, and I'm like, what the heck? I text him, "Hey, babe, make it home okay?" Don't hear anything. Kind of fall back to sleep. Wake up maybe 10 minutes later. "Seriously, where are you?" Call him. Nothing. And this goes on like multiple times. Oops, sorry. And I ended up, my mom lived with my sister at the time, and I ended up going to my mom, and I was like, "Dave's not answering his phone." And she's like, "Oh, I don't have any bad feelings. There's probably nothing going on." I'm like, "But what do I do? Like, do you start calling hospitals? Do you call the police? Like, This is weird. This is not like him." And she goes, "Well, you can go, I don't know. Let me get up. I'll figure it out." And as I'm walking down the hall towards the kitchen, my phone rings, and "Are you the wife of David Ames?" "This is a nurse from Harborview Hospital. He's been in a fatal motorcycle accident." Darn it, I really didn't want to cry. And I crumpled. My sister grabbed me. She's like, "It can't be. There's no way. This is not true." Needless to say, I got my mom. We hightailed it to Seattle, which again, over an hour away. Thankfully, I didn't get pulled over. Go running in. And hey, I was told my husband was here, David Ames, and the receptionist types up his name. "We don't have anyone by that name." "I'm sorry." "Well, let me look." And in my mind, I'm like, what type of sick joke am I living in right then?
Yeah.
You know? Oh, I found him. I found him. Let me go get a nurse. Okay. So the nurse comes with a couple other staff members and they take us to this room. I'm not expecting TV by any means, but I do know what it means to prepare a body for viewing. I did work in a hospital. Dave was a nurse. My mom and grandma were a nurse. Like I have some knowledge. And we walk up to the door and they open the door and my mom and I walk in and we're on either side of this gurney and there's a sheet covering. And I remember looking at the door at these hospital staff and I'm like, oh, you want me to do this? Oh, okay. So I pull back the sheet, taking deep breath, stealing myself, pulled back the sheet and the body bag zipped up. Again, you still want me to do this? Splits of words going through my mind at the same time. Unzip the body bag, and there's a sheet covering him up. Now, I don't know about you, gentlemen, but if you're in a motorcycle accident, I don't expect you to be whole. Yeah. So I have no idea what I'm about to view. And I remember must have had a look on the face like I'm about to lose it and scream. And my mom said, stop. Let me do this. Stop. Stilled myself again and she pulled back the sheet and there was my husband. And at 36 years old, I was a widow. And what had happened that I found out later was he was heading home northbound on 405. And the gentleman behind him had started to fall asleep. And as he was falling asleep, he was just drifting and accelerating at the same time. So as he was behind him and is now drifting and accelerating, hit the rumble strip, woke up, overcorrected, and now he went right in front of my husband and off the freeway on the other side. So as Dave went to stop the bike, his brakes locked. His bike went one way and Dave went the other. I like to believe, for peace sake, that he was alive vital-wise, but he wasn't alive afterwards. Because they said he passed away at the hospital. And like we said, life right then and there took the table and flipped it on you and said, here we go, let's make life happen. And it's still just...
What year was this?
Yeah, what year? 2015. Harper was 20 months old. And which was a blessing in a way, because you think, oh, she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not, because the little kids pick up so much. They are just so aware of so much that you also can't explain to her. I remember months later going to her pediatrician and asking, I was like, I don't know what to do. And they go, what do you mean? I was like, I have this independent little girl and now I have a stage 5 clinger. Like, I don't know what to do. Yeah. We'll be as close as we are here. And she'd be like, Mama, that echoing type of, and she goes, let me put it this way. When a kid is born, you're on a circle and the mom is on the top and they slowly make their way around the circle until they're fully independent from you. She knows there's a major hole in that circle, so she's moved right back up to top. Yeah. Give her some time. She will come back around. And I was like, okay. Again, new mom, everything's new. There's no booklets, so you're trying to figure it out. And I just, still to this day, it's just, you always think, I wish you would have came home. I wish you would have came to my sister's house, even for 5 more minutes. Yeah. And how life would have been so different. And I lived north of Seattle. I lived about 30 minutes away from my brother and my closest friends. My sister lived an hour away. So I was like, well, let's sell the house. You can see the hospital we worked at from where we lived. Let's sell the house and let's try to move closer south or further south. And everything I tried to do didn't work. I would go view a house and within minutes, it already had multiple offers. I'd go to another house, nice little gated community, call my brother. Give me 5 minutes and let me check this out. That area is considered the jungle. You and Harper are not allowed to live there. Okay, cool. cool, right? You know what I mean? Like everything was just not working to the point that I was going to go buy a house on auction. Did some research, went down to the Everett courthouse the weekend before, watched how this process worked, the volleying back and forth of buying properties, right? Show up the following weekend, and now it's September because my best friend had flown out from Colorado and for Harper's birthday. And so we walk up to the courthouse, my brother shows up, and the house is no longer on the auction block. I'm like, come on. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, so we're going to pause here. We're going to stop looking for houses because obviously this isn't the right path. And we enjoyed Harper's birthday party. And Tammy, who came out to see me, her sister moved to Argyle, Texas. And her 40th birthday was in November. Hey, why don't we all go down for Carrie's birthday? We're going to go see Zac Brown Band. I was like, okay, great. That's what we're going to pause to. So then I flew into Texas, went to Harvest, where you could have any house that you want for a price. But the world's yours, right? Would you pick one? And
yeah, especially then.
Right, because I mean, it wasn't even.
It's a brand new neighborhood.
Brand new.
Like the just broke ground.
Exactly. And I remember coming back from that trip and looking at my mom, because now she had moved in with me to help out. And I said, hey, Nana, what do you think about moving to Texas? And she's like, what the hell's in Texas? And I'm like, I don't know, Nana, but we're not getting anywhere here.
Cowboys and horses
right?
is what everyone thinks.
Right. I was just like, so I don't know. And she's like, if you find a house that you like, okay. And so they started the process, came down, found the house that I liked, started the building process. And December of that year, we flew down for the design meeting, Nana, Harper, and I. And I remember sitting, because it was at the Christmas party, and it was so small that it was, they could have it in the event hall. And sitting there going, holy crap, am I doing the right thing? Like, I'm moving 2,000 miles away. I wanted to move closer to family. I'm moving 2,000 miles away. Holy smokes, I hope I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. And here comes little Harper, run in with a gaggle of kids, and she looks at me, she goes, I'm happy, Mama. I'm so happy. And I was like, thank you. That's what I needed to know. That's what I had to hear. Cool. And
right by that place set right there by
right, yep. And she was just, little tiny little pigtails running around, and she within 6 months, that June of 2016 is when we got the keys to our new house and we moved in. And 6 months later down the road, we went back to Seattle for my mom's 70th birthday. And when we came back home, we landed, and she goes, Noel, if you got a wild hair up your butt to move back home, I don't know if I'd move with you. Same lady who asked me what the hell is happening in Texas. I don't know if I'm going to go. She's like, because I love the sun, which is big for us in Seattle, right? I like being warm and everything, and I'm happy here. And I was like, all right, Nana. It's nice funny to be home.
Home away from home.
Yeah. And so within, I want to say that year, my brother ended up moving for his job with Boeing to Slidell, Louisiana. And my sister ended up moving to Phoenix, Arizona. So talk about just the universe going, nope, we're going this way now.
That's cool. So everybody moved at least days away versus 3 days away. 2,000 miles is long. It's a drive from here to Washington.
Yes. So, and my brother ended up moving to San Antonio. My sister ended up moving to Argyle. And my brother just now moved to Orlando. So,
okay.
Yeah. So all of us ended up in Texas. Who would have thought?
That's funny. Hey, wow.
It's a great community to be a part of. So you moved to Texas. What in your mind the whole time? I mean, it's like just hearing this is so you too. Like, I'm going to go buy a house at auction. Like, I'm like, that is the most Noel thing I could think of. Like, I had never done this before, but I'm going to go I'm going to go watch. And that just shows your resilience. And it shows that speaks volumes to who you are and why you're successful in business too. Just that attitude of let me go watch and see how this works on the freaking steps of the courthouse.
Yeah, I'm not the researcher. I'm not going to read the articles and the books and all the things.
You got to go be hands-on.
Yeah, I got to go see it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brilliance in that, though. Sometimes the first to act is the first to win, just because you're in the right place at the right time. So there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And learn. You learn a lot of importance while you're doing as much as you do sit around and analyze. So a lot of people get a paralysis by analysis and can't make a decision.
Yeah.
So it's good. Um, let's talk a little more about the resiliency. I don't mean to take you back to an emotional time, but how, for people that may be going through the same or similar scenarios, what was it that you found was the most helpful to get through that tough time in your life?
The most what?
The most helpful. Like
Most
what did you
helpful?
find out of all the things that you went through?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it was very emotional. Ups
I
and
had-
downs. What helped you to cope?
So I went to a therapist. Again, new mom, now a new widow. Weird fact. My friend Tammy was also a widow at 35. Her sister Carrie that we came down to see, she was a widow in her 30s. Not the club you ever really want to be a part of, even if you really do enjoy the members. You know, but anyways, so through their losses, I thought, I should go to therapy. I should see if I can get some help, get some tools to make things better. And I remember a therapist telling me one time, she goes, Noel, everyone thinks of grief in a straight line, and that's not the way it is. You need to think of it as a wheel, and each stage is a spoke. So there's days where you'll be on one spoke, there's days you'll be on multiple spokes.
Gotcha.
But the wheel will spin. And I think that helped me the most, because actually in Texas, playing with Harper, and I was just depressed. There's no other way to put it. I was just depressed, and I remember looking at Harper and thinking to myself, spin the effing wheel. This little girl needs you. You need to be present. Get up and spin the wheel. You're not allowed to stay on the spoke anymore. And once I proved that I could do that, then that's all there was to it. Because yes, I suffered a loss, but my shoulders are so much bigger than this baby's. Yeah. I can handle it all the time. And she needs me. She's already lost one parent. She can't lose both. And that really was and I repeat that to people I meet now that have lost or in stages of grief, that you have to think of it that way. Because I really do think a lot of us think, oh, well, I'm here at denial and anger, like we're going through this. It's not life. It's not real. And Harper I tell her every day, she's the love of my life. I prayed for her. I wanted her more than anything. I actually wanted many, but I got so blessed with the perfect one, right? The first try.
She's a big personality. I don't know if you could have multiple of that.
Exactly. And so she, I needed to be there for her. I needed to show her that no matter what life throws at you, you stand up, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, keep on walking, because sometimes that's all you can do. Yeah. And I'm also a big advocate with her. Learn to be your own best friend, because there's times in your life where the only person that's there for you is going to be you. And so by preaching that to her, I feel like you have to show that to her too. Yeah. So definitely Harper.
Yeah, kids by example learn way more by example than they do by the words you speak. So and I think that's fantastic advice for somebody, and hopefully that people can hear that and understand. It's great. So spin the wheel.
Yeah, spin the wheel. Because you can. You don't have to wait for it to spin. You can literally, it's like Wheel of Fortune, people. Let's go.
Yeah. Get up and change your environment, or there's a lot of ways to do it.
Exactly.
So what is that for you when you say spin the wheel? Is it you literally there telling yourself to get up out of, get up, go do something different? Or was there a way like, hey, I'm going to go on a walk, or I'm going to go read this book, or I'm going to listen to music? Were there things that helped to spin the wheel for you?
Oh, absolutely. Just getting up, changing scenery. Let's go outside. Like you said, let's go ride bikes. Let's go play. Obviously sitting here in the living room isn't ideal at this moment. Right. So yeah, sometimes you just have to get up and just change your scenery for even just a few minutes, go make yourself a cup of coffee. I'm from Seattle. Go make yourself a cup of coffee.
So I have this note in my phone that I've kept for, since 2010 now, 16 years. Anytime I hear a quote or I read a book or I listen to a podcast or an audiobook and there's something in there that is impactful and I want to remember that, and I will sometimes go back and read some of those things when I'm like struggling in a certain area. There's not a lot of people that I personally know that make it into those notes, right? Because it's usually, like I said, a podcast, but the spin the wheel is definitely going in there after this. And because I'm going to go back to that. I've dealt with grief, losing my sister, closest person to me at 22. And, I was a brand new father, and there's a lot of blaming and stuff when you lose a 18-year-old girl, right? But the spinning of the wheel, it's like, I wish there would have been someone there to tell me that.
Yeah.
Because that's so powerful. Oh. It makes so much sense.
Yeah, and you need to know these things. You need to hear these things about how to make life better, how to take that next step.
Bring up a good point. So I had a lot of, in a profession, law enforcement, first responder, nurses, anyway, you deal with a lot of loss anyway. And so there's a lot of people that deal with that in varying degrees of success. Some people don't deal with it at all. But I've had very many of colleagues in the military and law enforcement that sought help. And in a profession that, it's
almost like stereotypically shunned. Like you don't ask for help. You are the help, right?
It's much better today, but a lot of people, and just hearing them, like, because I had close friends, they would open up to me like, man, this is the best thing I've ever done. I should have never been afraid to do it. So it's good. And I would tell people that the same thing, like from anecdotally, just, everybody I've ever dealt with that had to talk with someone, finding someone to talk with was the biggest part, because then it opened up and it allows your brain to help process and get the thoughts out and help along the path.
And it's non-bias, right? Somebody who's not part of your family or part of the situation, and they can give you. I remember talking about just life in general, and she looked at me and she goes, Noel, you are the type of person she said, there's two types of people. There's certain people who go from complete A, they move to B, complete B, they move to C. She goes, but you, my friend, you're like A, B, C, D, J, Z, back to A to finish it up. Because that's how you ADHD, whatever. But that's how you see the whole picture, and you can do multiple things. And I was like, whoa. So now I deal with people and I'm like, you're an A to B person. Got it.
That's honestly,
now I understand this.
I mean, man, to me, that's honestly half my life is trying to understand my own personality, right? And it's, I think most entrepreneurs there's a type of personality that is like all over, and you call it ADHD. I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah. But it's definitely like once you understand it and learn how to weaponize it, because it also allows me to go out and do a lot more than what people normally will do. Like,
normally think of to do. Yes.
Clearly been very successful, which leads us perfectly into out of the sorrow and the tribulations. Typically, I mean, the best thing to say is like, right, the phoenix that rises from the ashes. You have an opportunity. I know that we can jump into it later on, but you get a phone call and someone offers you to purchase a business. Tell us about it.
So Sign Gypsies, coming from Seattle, I was like, this is one of the most Texas things I've ever seen. Why are we doing this huge happy birthday signs in the yard? But okay. And, also. And
Sign Gypsies, for people that don't know, it's very popular here in Texas. And what they do is you print off large letters, signs, make patterns, designs, birthdays, anniversaries, anything.
Graduations.
It doesn't matter, graduations. And you literally go stake them in a yard, and it's a giant celebration. It's anywhere from probably 3 feet to as big as 25 feet, depending on how much people want to do. And it's just a decoration to celebrate that individual for that day. And you go set it up, and then you come back in generally the next day or that night and take it down.
Yeah, exactly.
So you get a phone call.
So I get a phone call, so let me back up. I actually knew Julia who called me. Because I rented Sign Gypsies for Harper's 6th birthday. And, got a text, hey, we're here, we're setting up. So keep the loved ones in the, don't let them come outside, basically. So I go out and I see my friend Julia with a couple other people. And I said, hey girl, I didn't know you did Sign Gypsies. I probably would have paused sooner if I knew it was you. Right? And she goes, oh, I just am in the process of buying this. I'm actually training. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. Have Harper's 6th birthday. It's beautiful. And for 3 years, I always thought, man, what an awesome opportunity. I wish I would have known about that before Julia. You know,
That's funny.
I'm like, I wish I would have known, connected all the dots, because that's a really cool opportunity. Just randomly, I'd have these thoughts.
Yeah.
So 3 years down the road, I get a phone call from Julia, and she goes, hey, are you still making those signs? Because at the time, my friend Tammy, who lived in Colorado, we live in the exact same house, 5 houses apart, same street. It's ridiculous. Talk about little girls' dreams. And our moms both live with us. It's crazy. But anyways, her son Cole is a big football player, my nephew. She calls me up. She goes, I can't go to this game. I'm so sick. It's the first game I've ever missed. It's a scrimmage, all these things. Can you go in my place? Absolutely. So I got a piece of corrugated plastic and my little Cricut, and I made him a sign. And it said, hit, never quit, number 78. And I take it to the scrimmage. Harper and I, oh, cool. Having an exciting time. End up giving it to Tammy. We get messages from other moms. She tells me about that sign. She's like, can you make this sign for, other people? And I was like, sure. So I started that little side hustle, which I don't know if you ever know this, but if you have to deal with corrugated plastic and you're selling something in permanent vinyl, it's a nightmare. Because if it's not perfect, then it's ruined, right? So anyway, so I start making these signs, learn that I can design them online, which give me cooler designs, have them printed. So now I'm not doing the work, and I can sell them for more. And I'm like, yes, we are in this. So now we're at this point where I'm doing all these signs, and Julia calls me. She goes, hey, are you still doing those signs? And I'm like, yes. Thinking, of course. Why do you need one? Your daughter does cheer. Do you need one for the cheer team? No, I want to sell just Sign Gypsies. I have three out of my 4 kids go to Texas Tech. I would like to be able to take off whatever weekend I want and go and see them, because what a unique opportunity I have. Are you interested? Yes. Like, I've never owned a business. I have no idea what I need to do.
And what were you doing at the time? Were you still doing Are you still doing phlebotomy?
No. I was making those signs. I'm a stay-at-home mom. That's all I was doing. And she goes, okay, great. And she goes, well, I go, how much do you want for it? She goes, I'll probably want about $25,000. I was like, huh, okay. Just listening. Well, I knew my friend or neighbor, his wife was a photographer, and he's a super smart guy. So I went to him. I said, hey, how do we run numbers? I'm in the process.
I love you. Oh my God.
I don't even know how to do this. So
I hope someone watches this and is just like, this is what the action that you put into just doing. Like,
how do we do this? And so he goes, okay, give me all our numbers. And he sits down with Excel sheet and he starts running them. Okay, so this is how much he averaged every month. This is, the cost of the product, because we have to buy all our graphics from corporate.
Yep.
This is the number I think you should suggest to her. And he gives me a price. I said, all right. So I called her up and I said, I'm willing to give you this much. 17,000. I'm so proud of myself, right? She goes, okay. But you still have to go through the corporate process where I have to be interviewed by Stacy Hess is the owner and founder, but her husband kind of runs that operation. And so you have to interview with Jason, and then he'll talk about the contract, come with questions. You'll have another interview with Jason, and then you'll have an interview with Stacy because you're a franchisee. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. So I have a Zoom call with Jason, and I think I blew him away because I had all these questions. I think he thought he was going to ask me all these questions. You know what I mean? And I was like, so how do you promote this? Okay.
Oh,
like,
awesome.
all these things I needed to know on running the business. Make it through everything. And in January of 2023, I own Sign Gypsies Argyle. They're like, here you go. And I did one sign with Julia, and it was a just married sign. That was the only training I had. I have done maybe 3 just married signs total in about 4 years. That was not the sign I needed to train on.
That's funny. Is there any YouTube content out there, anything you're able to watch to help you with any of this, or is it pretty much non-existent? I've never looked up sign YouTube before,
yeah.
So,
right.
But it could be.
There could be, exactly. You do a little bit of training through corporate. Corporate has a whole little training situation where you have videos and they'll show you, right letter overlaps the left when spelling things out. A lot of it's spatial awareness. And we also have a Facebook page for us franchisees where people will say, oh, I did the sign. So now you're looking at signs and you're like, oh, okay, this needs this, this, and this, right? So it's end of January. I have my very first sign and we have the freeze that comes in,
Oh, yeah.
right? And I have this sign and it's not very far, but it's, not in the neighborhood. And I remember sitting there going, what do I do? Because I really feel like if I say I can't do it because of weather, I'm setting the precedence for my business. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go out in the storm.
Do it anyway. And
we're going to install our very first sign and just make it work and figure it out. And so I did. I went out there and there was snow and ice. We don't freeze like they do up north. So
yeah, you had experience from being up north. Like Texas freezes.
It wasn't horrible.
Yeah. Nothing compared to.
Right. And I did a sign, took a picture, and they say they loved it. Bless their heart now, because I look at it and I'm like, ooh. And the next day, I did another sign in the neighborhood, and I shared it to that Facebook group. And I said, hey, look, I did my second sign in the Texas snowstorm. And someone goes, oh, that's really cute. Your 8 is upside down. What?
How is an 8 upside down?
Oh, crap. Okay. So I get back in my car. I drive, take the 8 off the stake, flip it over, replace it, take another picture. And I'm like, fixed it. Yes, we did this.
Wait, was the 8 upside down?
It was literally upside down.
How was an 8 upside down?
Well, smaller on the top than on the bottom. So
I'm sitting here thinking of like an 8. I thought someone was messing with you and you drove over there and did that.
And I was like, okay, we did it, right? And
good on you.
Exactly. And then come that February, Sign Gypsies has their yearly conference, but they're still doing Zoom conferences at this time. So I meet other Sign Gypsies. We all end up at the lady, she I believe owns Colleyville. We all end up at her house. There's probably about 6 of us. And I'm new to the group, introducing myself. And they're, hey Noel, how did February go? I said, it's great. I did 11 signs. Really excited about that. And Lisa Garb, who's like number 2, number 3 in the company, looks at me. She goes, oh, that's so cute. I did 19 this week. Are you really? I was just like, I remember going home and Daddy goes, how'd it go? I go, I need to get busier. This is dumb. I did 11 in a month. It's so exciting. And this chick's doing 19 in a week.
I'm just to say, that's a classic example of comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah. Like, you were happy until she's like, oh, I did this. You're like, dang it. No, right? Which is important, though, right? Like, it's good. It's good that you recognize, like, oh, I didn't know that was possible, right? Because you were going to your neighbor who was a photography guy to be like, hey, can you run numbers for me? I don't know what I'm doing. Like, it's totally fine. Like, it makes.
And I'm thinking I'm right on course with Julia's past numbers,
So you're thinking you're doing everything correct.
Yeah.
You're comparing, you don't know where, you just don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. And come to find out, my numbers started going way up after. I was just like, we got to make this
happen. Sorry.
So how did you do it? How did you, all of a sudden, you're at this meeting, everyone, you're doing 11 in a month. This chick's doing 19 in a week. And you're like, oh, how? So what were the changes that you made that all of a sudden your numbers are shooting up? Because it just doesn't, you just don't wake up and more sign request comes in. Exactly. There's obviously some action, right?
Right. From the information I received from them was, one, get in touch with your schools. Because the whole idea is if you have eyes on your sign, and that's even what Jason said, put eyes on your sign, give free signs, do this, they'll see it. Exactly. So I started contacting more of the elementary schools, start working with them a little bit more closely. And then I started just posting, just hustling on Facebook, joining groups. And then the most important thing is I started networking. And that right there changed the whole scenario. And it wasn't even ABA. I mean, this was years ago. So yeah, and just getting my name out there.
Which is, every single podcast, and literally this is the one thing that has come up in every single one. Everybody says the thing that blew up their business was networking. And so if there's any advice I can give to people that want to start a sign business like yourself or any business, And I shared a quote yesterday about it. Most people, their first customers are not complete strangers. It's somebody you know, and people do business with who they know, like, and trust.
Oh,
And
100%.
so if they know you, it's just as simple as offering a service,
Mhm.
and people come and purchase it. So it's
And sometimes people don't even know they need the service.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like there's so many like parents or whatever. Like take yourself, for example, you came from Seattle, right? To Texas. This sign deal is a very
We don't do that. That's like moms.
Yeah, like so there's people that are moving to this area because of the economic growth, right? And they don't know that their kid needs these signs for their yard and stuff. But once they eat Noel,
Yes.
then they're like,
Yes, then they know.
Then they know.
Well, this is back to that comparison, right? People are now going to be like, oh, well, they did that. I want to do that, right?
Yeah.
So you start putting it in sign,
Jones is, yeah.
and now you're using it to your advantage, which is brilliant. Is there? Let's talk numbers a little bit. So when you first started, so we bought the business for $17,000. What was your first? I guess what were your first? That you made 19 months or 19 signs in a month. What'd you gross?
11.
Or 11? Or sorry, what was it?
Well,
11, yeah.
I guess I don't remember those exact things, but my goal was I gave myself a year to pay myself back,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And I paid myself back within 10 months.
Awesome.
So,
Which means you had a net profit of $17,000
Exactly.
within 10 months.
yeah. And
And you were doing between how many signs in that 10 months? You went from 19 or 11 in 1 month to upwards of
right, about 30
30 a month.
a month, yes. And I remember my first graduation, May season, I did 63 signs. I was so proud of myself. I did like 7 in a night. I was like, ha ha ha, right? We got this. And then somebody came on from that, another Sign Gypsies said, I did 124. And I was like, every time. Darn it, you think you're right here. And no, you're way down on the total. And I looked back at Julia's number during COVID because this is when this industry really took off, was COVID, when you couldn't have people over for your house. So celebration, big yard sign in the yard, people would drive by and honk.
99% sure that you're the one that set up it would have been my boy's 8th birthday or 9th birthday, somewhere around there, 10th, maybe, like, because I swear it was Sign Gypsies. I think about it because it was in Harvest, and it would have been in like 2021, 2020, the time that time. So.
And so I looked at her numbers and she was in the 50s and I was like, haha. I outdid her numbers during COVID. Like,
Yeah.
I am on the right track, right? And, we're going to keep on going. Well, now we're in year 2. May comes around and I did 64 signs. And I remember sitting there going, what the heck? People know me now. There's more word of mouth. I'm still doing everything I am doing. What is going on? What's happening? Why am I not growing? And my friend Tammy looks at me. She goes, you're not hustling like you used to hustle because you think people know you now. And I was like, crap. Okay.
It's a good friend.
Right. Yeah. She's like, you're not posting like you used to post. You used to post in groups. You used to do all these things and you don't. I mean, you do, but you don't. So the third year came. I did 102 signs that May. And I try to hustle. I want to do as many as I personally can. Now, the lady who did 124, she's a great lady. I know her personally. But she did have a team of helpers. Okay. I did 102 by myself. There's a little bit of a difference.
That's awesome.
So your net profit is higher because you're not putting out the expenses that she is.
Exactly. I had somebody help pick up the signs, but nobody was actually out installing the signs. And
Which is probably
that
important part of it
right.
because you want it. That's your name, right? Of how this sign looks.
And I've been told, and I hate saying this because I never want to brag, but I've been told by various customers, long-time customers, wow, you really leveled this up. There's a big difference between your sign versus Sign Gypsies a few years ago. Everybody knows my sign. And they do. Even
I see in the neighborhood. I take a picture of it and I post it on Harvest. Yeah,
right.
It's not, and don't. It's not braggadocious. You're just like if your
passion.
customers are telling you those things, this is super important for people to hear because clearly that setup process matters.
Yes. And so here I am out in Argyle, not by myself because there are other Sign Gypsies. There's like 900 of us throughout the nation, even in Canada. But because corporate's in Salina, we're very densely located here in DFW.
Yeah.
So I spend the first couple of years out in Argyle by myself, if you will. And so if I need to borrow a graphic or I need something, I have to drive to South Lake or North Richland Hills to get it. And you have to plan your day when you're going to make a 45-minute to an hour drive, right? Just to pick up one graphic. So I started thinking, I'll never forget, I had one night, I had 3 boy birthdays and they all liked basketball. And all the moms said they were super big basketball fans. Great. I have 3 balls, probably, or more like 4 basketballs, a hoop, and 1 shoe.
Uh-oh.
What am I going to do? And I can't drive. It's already too late. So then I started just building up my own inventory because I didn't want to be in that position anymore.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was doing the quantity. Now I need to deliver on the quality or give myself leverage to be able to deliver my quality. And finally, the lady who owns, because we own zip codes basically, the lady who owns Flower Mound, Highland Village, Louisville,
I remember that.
it's like 5 of them, she wanted to sell.
That was last year, right?
Yeah. And I was like, great, I'm going to buy your Flower Mound zip codes because those are the closest to me. This makes sense. Nope, couldn't work out. Again, doesn't work out. All right, fine.
Just numbers.
Just, yeah, what she wanted. She didn't want to split it, is something. And I was like, okay, fine.
I get saying. So she had more than just the flower mound. You just wanted the flower mound ones.
Yeah, I think she had like 5 or 6 zip codes and I wanted 2.
Gotcha.
I don't want any of your inventory. I just want
the zip codes.
the zip codes.
That makes sense.
Didn't work out. And this lady, Miranda, bought the entire territory and all the inventory. And she lives in Argyle. And I was like, oh my gosh, I finally have another Sign Gypsy close to me. This is amazing, right?
So y'all, and I think you mentioned it, but I just want to be clear because I'm a little confused on it. So y'all share like the signages, the inventory with each other?
We
or do
each
you
have our own,
Okay.
but
Where do you store all this at?
in my garage. So I did move from my 1-car garage to my 2-car garage.
That's a lot of signs.
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
But actually, on that, so I'm sure you're free to let whomever and do what you guys want with your inventory, right? If you choose to let her use your inventory or you choose to share, it's up to you guys.
Exactly.
But I'm sure that you have a mutual relationship with other people. It's probably a very, it's very good for business if you guys can lean on each other in a
Right.
pinch.
If somebody wants something,
And technically,
special that I don't have, it's nice to be able to go, hey, do you have, I think for a while my thing was dragons. I didn't have the dragon, but Miranda had it. You gonna borrow your dragon again? And the boy wants this.
And it's the feast or famine mindset. Like I think it's a classic example of like there's enough for everybody. You guys have your zip codes. You're not competing.
Well, and we're in the same corporation, so So and we both have to buy our graphics from corporate, so it's all
Okay,
unified.
that was my next question: is where are all the graphics coming from? Are they making sure it's a certain type and it's all streamlined?
Exactly. So Sign Gypsies anywhere will overall look the same, though we may not own each graphic. It's still overall the same unity. And so Miranda moves in and I get a train her how to do signs. So we start talking and she's like, can I ride along with you to install some signs? Absolutely. So she comes with me. We do 3 or 4 birthday signs, teaching her about spacing. And it gave me the opportunity to be a mentor, which it took that opportunity to realize that's really what I enjoy doing. I want to be that. I'm naturally going to be your biggest cheerleader anyways, but to be able to show you and to coach you and to be there to listen to you, we get frustrated because some of her zip codes that she purchased did 12 signs a year.
Gotcha. How
do I build this? How do we get bigger? And also just to learn from her. She taught me of the idea of somebody asking for cookies or a venue or something for a birthday. Refer somebody that's useful for that particular request that and you would refer. Hey, by the way, if you want to celebrate them big, don't forget Sign Gypsies. And that's how she built up her numbers, and it taught me. And so I built up mine too. And so we really developed this great partnership. And I was like, that's why I was never allowed to buy Flower Mound. I was meant to meet Miranda.
Yeah.
So, and then another lady, Jennifer, who owns Granbury Weatherford, same thing with her, and brought her in. And
what's crazy is you helping her become successful made you more successful.
What, absolutely.
And
So-
that mindset is so valuable.
It is.
And it's important to have people to be like, OMG, can you believe this happened? And blah, blah, blah. Or better yet,
And now she's your biggest cheerleader.
right. Or better yet, I just did the sign and I forgot the E.
Yeah.
Now I can't spell, Emily because I have Mimily. You know what I mean? Like, awesome. I'm going to be right back. To have somebody to laugh with about stuff like that. Yeah.
That's awesome. In the same industry. That's awesome.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about where the numbers are now. Are you okay with talking about that?
Yeah.
So where are the numbers currently to date, gross wise?
So this is,
You can go to net if you want. Like, I would love to discuss it. I really want people to, hopefully, that are going to watch this, or
Yes.
people.
What is the cost of a sign? Like, does it, like, if
$99. $99 for happy birthday, includes the age, the name, balloons, filler, and interest graphics. And one thing I think that makes me stand out versus like the competition of yard, greetings is I think some of these other companies have 4 graphics or 6 interest graphics. I'm like, you tell me everything, because if I have it, we're going to use it. And this has bit me in the butt a couple times.
I was curious if that would be that. It could be. It's kind of like a restaurant offering too many services on their menu, right? Like it's
Right.
sometimes it draws too much resources for that one thing that doesn't sell very often. I can see how it could cause a bottleneck.
Exactly. And I learned that in my first year, I did this little girl. Her name's Shay. She's turning 3. And I was so excited. This little baby girl, we're going to do it big. I brought everything in the kitchen sink basically to this little girl's yard.
That's awesome.
All the princesses and all the unicorns and all the things, thinking, going to make it big. This is how we do signs. The following year, they request again, and it's the same interest. And I was like, oh no. Oh no, what do I do? Because I literally brought everything last year. Okay, instead of a happy birthday sign, I got that giant cake. We're going to do that giant cake. How can we change the stuff? But it also happens more so with boys than girls. They like football, baseball, the color blue. Great. Well, last year I put football on the left side, or, so we're going to move to the right side this year. And then you start trying to figure it out to make it. So I don't ever want them to feel like I repeated myself, or they just got the exact same thing that they had last year.
It shows you where my mentality is about it. I would never even care. I'd be like, yeah, put it up again. That's what I wanted. Yeah. I could see, I could see for sure that there are clients out there that would notice that, like, hey, you just did the same thing again. Like, so that's a interesting process to be able to
in
do.
September for Knox's birthday, we're gonna need some like monster trucks and like construction trucks and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
His second birthday.
Yes, we have all of that.
Yeah.
And-
Well, maybe Bluey if you have Bluey.
So the great thing about Sign Gypsies is that they've always been big on copyright infringement.
Oh, okay.
So they won't print things just because.
Gotcha.
What is horrible about that is you got to figure out how to showcase this idea without any of the signature
Yeah.
characters.
Mm-hmm.
It really kind of forces you to push that envelope and get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Bluey's a big one. Mario Brothers was a big one for a while. We finally got graphics that look like Minecraft. Thank God.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess true. You're dependent on the corporate to come up with the designs, because you have to purchase from it. It requires you to make your own technically.
And they're also worried about getting sued. Like that's not something I would have ever thought about. Like, oh yeah, you're pretty graphics off for profit. It's all copyrighted stuff. Like you got to worry about that.
Right.
It makes sense.
So now when people ask me, what are my numbers? I always tell people it's hard to compare me. It's hard for you to compare yourself to me, for the simple fact that my slow months are 30 to 40 signs a month. That's not the normal in this business. There are some sign gypsies, and it breaks my heart. And I'm like, call me. How can I help you brainstorm through this? You haven't had, we're in January, February, and you haven't had a sign since November. Why? What can we do to help you grow your business? I would say an average 11 signs a month. But I'm in my lull right now, because every June you go from this you have your endorphins and everything, just adrenaline going because you're pushing yourself.
Yeah.
I'm doing 13 signs in a day by myself. Like, you're trying to make it work out. Making jokes to Jennifer and Miranda, like, I did 9 signs in 6.5 hours. I'm pretty sure I could have cut that to about 6 hours if I didn't talk to my clients and I didn't pet that third dog. Like, right? But I'm also a competitive person, so I'm always trying to cut time or figure it out.
Do you ever time yourself? Like when you get to a house, have you ever timed
I've never timed myself, but there are times where I'm like, Noel, come on, stop fiddling around. It just, because I'm tired. I'm like, I don't know. Do I like that there? Maybe.
Or you sit in the truck for a little bit with the AC on and you're like, I'm going to look at this. Yeah.
Right. And
So you're still currently doing all the setup yourself?
All the setups myself. I did hire a new helper to pick up with the hopes that let's learn to pick up. One, because you'll start to learn spatial awareness. You also learn my clusters. You know what I mean? And you'll start seeing it. So when you have to go to repeat it, it's easy. And I looked at her in April. I said, how do you feel about learning how to install? She's like, not right now. I was like, cool. I was really hoping to have you this May, but okay, this is great.
It's hard, like, as a business owner, because really, if you can't replace yourself, you have a job, not so much a business. And it's hard, right? Because we all, like, you have a business, but if you're the only one that can do a lot of it, if you leave, who's going to do the business? So
right.
You want to get to that point to step away and then train people. So it's hard to find the right people. I could see, but it sounds, so as a one-woman show though, well, technically you've got a helper on the back end, but you're more or less running the business all yourself. And I would imagine Harper probably helps too.
Oh no, it's too hot.
Never mind. She's like, that's hilarious. So you are a one-woman show.
Every now and then I'm like, you got to help me pick up signs.
So
yeah,
what's the busiest you've ever been in a month now?
It was last May. It was 102.
102 signs in 1 month.
Yes.
And each at $99, or is it?
Well, graduation is about 125.
Okay.
And that's the most expensive that you get signs.
What are your margins in that $199 to $125?
So the amazing thing about Sign Gypsies, unlike what I know of competitors, I don't know if it's true or not, but is we pay a franchise fee and we have to buy a certain amount worth of graphics every year, and that is it.
So there's no
royalties.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
We are our business.
And they just is it a yearly franchise fee or is it initial buy-in? Okay, so it's a yearly franchise fee.
It's a flat fee, and it's $1,000. That's our franchise fee. And
so you have $1,000, and then so I know that it's not going to be typical, but what would you say an average sign that you put up? How many letters and how much size do you think it is?
Usually do.
How many H's do you own?
Not enough sometimes. Not enough. So there are some days where I'm like, where is that letter? I made the decision a long ago, especially because we live in a new build area at the time, that I didn't want to spell out happy birthday. It's too much. Plus that sign is, like you said, 25 feet long. It's ridiculous. How do you take a picture of someone who's 4'8" in front of, right?
So you just put BA or something.
So, well, actually, Sign Gypsies created mega boards that say happy birthday on them. So I used that and then kind of brought it in. But then you still get the kids that have, 9 letters in their names, and you're like, holy smokes, we're still going out, people.
Yeah. So probably between 5 and 10 letters every time?
And letters every time. There's always 6 mega balloons, 6 fillers, the numbers. And
the mega balloons are all on one board though, right?
No,
okay.
They're individually.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So you got all that. So what would be, if you were to order all of that for a house, you had to, like, I don't have any extra, I got to order all this for one that's going to be next. What would that cost you right now to order through a corporate?
Easily over $500.
Okay, for all that stuff. And then for one, and then at that point it's paid for, right?
Right, it slowly gets paid for that.
And then now you go out, and as long as it's rented out, it's making money.
Exactly.
So if it's sitting on someone's house, it's $125 a day, $100 a day. So you have your typical, so for a sign, so you're saying, so it sounds like to be able to do 4 houses at once, it'd be about $2,000 worth of products, but you're going to rent it out for $100 every time. So you got to go out and rent it out 20 times.
Yes, to make it up.
Okay.
And my brother asked me one time, he said, Noel, you should know down to the penny your business. And I was like, Hey, Brittany, how do I figure out? How do I do this? Brittany's my bookkeeper, by the way. I was like, hold on. Sure, absolutely. How do I do this? Okay, we'll figure it out. I guess that is the story of my life. But when I found out what was hard for me was when Brittany helped me sit down and run the numbers, as I was constantly in the red. And I was like, how am I constantly in the red when I've already paid myself back? I'm making money. I have money in my accounts. How is this possible? And what it came to was, if I spend $16 on a mega balloon, at what point does it run out at? It's not like I'm making hamburgers and buns cost this much, meat costs this much, and therefore it costs me this much to make this hamburger and I'm selling it for this cost. I have some inventory that's been around for 10 years. So how do I figure that out? I still haven't figured that part out. But you know what I mean? Is it 10 cents? Is it 20 cents for the value?
I think once it's paid,
Depreciation,
I think you depreciation. I think once it's paid for, then it just goes to the green.
Yeah,
I wouldn't calculate it as a cent or anything. But once your inventory is paid off, once you've rented this stuff enough, at that point you no longer have that overhead cost.
Well, then that makes sense. Then great. I make about $99 a sign then.
Yeah.
If I don't have to figure it out, you know.
Yeah. Because
and that
once you own it, you own it. That's like with our scaffolding company, right? Like we have scaffolding that sits, right? And if it's not being rented out, we're not making money. But we had jobs that we had to purchase that scaffolding for.
Right.
Well, once that scaffolding's paid for, right? Now every other job after that, it's in the green.
That makes sense.
Because we own it. We're not having to pay for it again.
there is something to be considered about depreciation. Like if you were going to do it and want to sell it, and like you were looking at like some crazy firm trying to buy it, they would want to have some sort of depreciated asset schedule.
Right.
But I mean, the really way you could do that is to go back how long you've been in business and how long you've had the signs and what condition they're in currently and how many you've had to replace.
Or like that lady that tried to sell the flat
Most-
mount stuff. She had an inventory of stuff and she's like, I have this many signs. I'm going to sell it to you at 70% of what I bought it for.
Exactly.
And this,
Right.
and I would say for most people, this part of it is not that important unless you're trying to sell the business, and then it becomes more important. But it's good to know that, I mean, at least from the simple math that we talked about, pretty much takes you 4 rentals, roughly between 4 and 6 rentals to pay off what you're putting
Right.
on the house.
What I purchased, yes.
So which is not it's a 20% return every time you.
That's
a good.
lot
So-
better than a lot of
much-
businesses.
So much during this podcast.
No, I don't think you understand like how good that is. Like on restaurants, it takes a lot of them 3 years to get back. What
Most
like,
large companies, most like when they get larger, they're small companies, mom and pop shops generally have better margins because you can control the cost more.
Yes.
But typically, large corporations, I mean, their margins are down in the teens.
But also, what a smart franchise to be a part of, because I know several people that are a part of franchises, and they absolutely hate it.
Oh yeah, they have
And
to pay royalties.
It's all kinds
If a
of stuff.
job comes in, you have to do it. It's
Yeah.
not you're on vacation or you find somebody else to do it for you. It's yours because it came in through corporate.
But it sounds like they're super smart they're only charging 1,000, but really, I mean, what they're making money is off the signs, right? They own the print shop, all the graphics.
Yeah.
So they're selling that.
Yeah, an alphabet, extended alphabet is already $850. I can blow through $1,000 so quickly. And
Gotcha.
you're like, wow,
So
I didn't know I bought that much.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
But curiosity is like you can run the numbers.
Yeah.
You see what's out there. What are the benefits for someone that may be thinking about doing this that doesn't just go out and make their own signs and start their own without doing a franchise? Why did you choose to do the franchise route? And then now that you've done the franchise route,
Yes.
do you look back on it and say, hey, that was a good thing, or I think I could actually do this by myself? Like, where is your mindset at with that? And you also don't have to answer if it's going to get you in trouble.
No, I think that doing it yourself, because there are times where you're, man, I wish we could get some new race cars. You know, just you have these ideas of what your customers are asking for. You wish you could go ahead and print it for them. But the headache behind all that machinery, the cost of everything, or let's say you pay somebody who has a print shop. Well, now you're paying 30% more anyways for that graphic, or it's made from less quality or whatever.
Have you priced out graphics before with other places to see how much approximately they would be?
Really? not really. Sign Gypsies, on the other hand, I know the quality is going to be great.
Yeah.
know,
I mean, they've got a whole machine that is
exactly,
makes sense.
exactly. And if I need something,
I was about to say that also the benefit of the community, I think, far outweighs
well,
doing it by yourself, because if you need those extra graphics, you could go to your Frid's that's right down the road now.
right.
You can just pick that up. That just seems way more efficient.
And I had a senior who was a young man who was a dancer. Awesome. Love that. What do I use for a male dancer? Because all our little silhouettes look like girls. And I'm approaching this out to the community, right? What do I do? Well, what type of dancing does he do? Because if he does hip hop, you could use the boombacks and the Nike shoe, and it just starts brain dumping. If he does line dancing, it's this, and you don't have that when you're kind of by yourself, because you're like, oh no, I gotta go make it the silhouette of a guy.
So they've created this community that's welcoming for this help. That's the value.
100%. And it's just so nice to be able to have that.
Which is a good, I mean, I think it's become more popular, especially in the last couple of years. There's a lot of YouTube personalities that talk about purchasing businesses and being the right move, because someone's already done it and you're going to purchase it and you're going to go in and typically you're going to negotiate some sort of training schedule or something along with that, so that you go from not owning a business to someone like in yourself who had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah,
like,
walking right in.
Show me the numbers.
There's somebody there to kind of guide you through the process, and then you're handed the business, and you know that it works because you can see it, and hopefully you've done the research on the business you're purchasing. Like, hey, it works. Now they showed me how to do it. I'm just going to go repeat that now.
Exactly.
So it gives you an advantage with it.
It's hilarious. So when I wanted to start my second business, we have networking groups that I belong to that have masterminds. And I've been gnawing on this question for a while, and I was a little intimidated to ask. And so finally, nobody was raising their hands. So I raised my hand. They said, Noel, come on up. What's your problem? And I sat down in front of probably about 30 business owners. And I said, okay, how do you start a business? And they all looked at me like, get the hell out of here. You got so many jokes all the time. Get out of here, Noel. What? And I said, no, seriously. I walked into a franchise. We already had all the processes and systems in place. I walked into the franchise and I elevated it and made it better. How do you start a business? Because I still don't know. 3 years in, I still don't know, but let's figure this. I'm never afraid to ask. Awesome. And finally, once they were like, oh, now we understand your question. You're not just being a jackass, sitting up there wasting our time. And we sat down. What business do you want to start? I want to do party rentals. Well, you need to find out your why. Why do you want to do party rentals? Why this? Why this? This is great. Then you get your bank account set up. Do you want to be an LLC? Well, do I just umbrella it under my LLC I already have for Sign Gypsies? Nope. Because if you want to sell it, you want to separate, and just amazing people. I kind of wish you guys were in the room too, that just have all this knowledge and that just could just pour into you. And you're like, all right, great. Now let me go do some research and figure this out.
Yeah.
And
that's where it's at.
How do you do this?
Well, hey, it brings us to the next step. So you have been running Sign Gypsies now for a few years, and it's done well. So I think I grossed over 70,000 last year. Okay, I was gonna say. So
my CRM told me I failed because I think I had my goal at 85.
But you're grossing.
You're still close.
So we're grossing. So you grossed in Sign Gypsies at 75K, but you've already paid for all of your equipment. How much? How much? What do you think, if you were to put a number to it? How much money have you spent on all your current inventory to make 75K a year?
Probably 20,000.
Okay,
that's a great return. Good job.
And it's 20, and that's not 20,000 at once. You've made $20,000, and it's been how many years have you owned Sign Gypsies?
I'm in my fourth year, so I did my third anniversary.
Oh, okay, so over 4 years.
Over 4 years. Yeah. So you're looking at $5,000 a year,
right? Roughly
is what you've put into a business to make $70,000 a year, which is or 75, and most of that, because. Think of it right, there's some purchase and inventory in there. Maybe you want to call it $5,000 a year to make it simple. You're spending $5,000 a year to make 65 or 70,000. That's a good return on investment. That's really it, and it's awesome
for something that you're doing on your own. Your set hours, and you're still a full-time mom.
How many hours a week do you Well, I know when it's busy, it's probably, I'm sure it's when this last couple of weeks. I remember I text her. I was like, hey, we're finally making through our backlog of, everybody we wanted to be on the podcast. Do you have time? She's like, I'm in the middle of graduation. I was going to text her. I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Like,
I'm going to leave you alone
I'm
right
gonna leave you
now.
alone. That's all. I
It was
was like,
just a hologram. I'm not even here.
I think my next text was just let me know. Like,
It was like, okay, we'll talk to you in June.
yeah, I was like, I'll wait till, because I was laughing. I was thinking, it's probably the busiest time of year. One of them.
Oh, absolutely. It's our
that
super.
maybe Christmas. Or
Okay,
anything.
cool.
Okay, so it's okay.
Like
That
you gear
makes
yourself
sense.
up.
Because
too.
you know it's going to be busy.
And this year was different. Every year is always different. This year was different. There was a lot of last minute moms just coming in, a couple of days before, where the year prior I had moms booking in December, which is awesome because then you hear what they want, what you need. And so when the graduation release comes from corporate, you can fill in whatever gaps you're having,
That's awesome.
which made a huge difference. This year it was just run by the seat of your pants. You're just going to figure it out.
Gotcha. So that's running well. At what point do you have the ideation of, hey, I think I want to do more, or I want to add to this business? How does that come about?
I was in St. Augustine for Christmas with my brother and watching him paint the porch. I offered to help. He said he didn't need my help, so I just thought I'd sit out there and chit chat with him. I was like, I tried. He's like, no, you don't have to. I was like, okay, I'll talk to you, keep you company. Sometimes that's all you need, right?
That's funny.
And he goes, we're just talking, and I go, I need to figure out what's next. I am always been like that. Relationships, jobs, whatever, get about 2-year mark. Okay, what's happening? What's coming up? And we tossed back and forth some ideas. He goes, how about real estate? And I was like, I know so many realtors.
Yeah.
And that's a hard job. Holy smokes, I don't know if I could do that. And back and forth, and I was just like, I'll figure it out. Well, then I started going to other networking meetings like ABA. We need somebody who does tables and chairs. A week later, we need somebody who does tables and chairs. I'm like, I could probably do tables and chairs. I'll figure this out. I will figure this out. And what?
Next day she wakes up, she's going to a table and chair auction.
What? Right? Can I get $1? Can I get $1.50? So then I start listening to them, and I'm like, that's a perfect synergy partner for myself because, you need tables and chairs? Great. What are you celebrating? First of all, what zip code are you celebrating in? Yeah. Even if it's not mine, then I know where to, what Sign Gypsy person to, refer you to. But
do you guys have some sort of lead referral service? Like if you hand someone a lead, will they like, hey, here's $10?
No,
just
no,
all cordial.
Thanks so much. So
that's awesome.
Oh, you're having a
Great
party?
Community.
Right. You're having a party? Great. Do you need a sign for that? Or hey, you need a birthday sign? I also offer tables and chairs if you need that to help with your party. And it just was so easy. So I've heard about what I needed to figure out for the business.
Which is super important because often people don't know what to do business-wise, and they have no idea, and they don't really care. And if they take the opportunity to sit and think, like, hey, and that is exactly, you're already in the course of a business that you own, and you're hearing like, hey, we need this, hey, we need this. So there's a need.
Exactly.
So it's like, I already know there's already a business there. Is it profitable?
What kind of research did you do? Did you do
party
some
rentals in Argyle? Hey, nothing shows up.
Right.
That's great.
Well, how did you determine your pricing?
So there are rental businesses throughout DFW.
Right.
So I just went and scoured their page. How much do you charge for a 6-foot table? How much do you charge for a 60-inch round? What is your delivery cost? And then I got on chat. I talked a lot with Chad about it. And
meaning ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, I'm sorry.
No,
yes,
okay.
AI.
Most people know what we mean. But...
Yes. And he was like, you're gonna do amazing at this. Yes, I am. Yes, I am, buddy.
Did you start a new, like ChatGPT? I have a whole bunch of different folders for different ventures and stuff. Did you start a new one?
You had to go in and create your own little
So did you? Project. Yeah. So you created your new project.
Yes. Do you not disagree with me?
Yeah.
I hate that. Just in people in general who are just, want to build you up without believing in you.
To talk about AI real quick, not to take it off too much topic, but ChatGPT is great, but I started using Claude and Claudebot a little while ago, and it crushes ChatGPT because I'm able to go in and create projects and folders, and then you can create skills, and it just has a way better memory than ChatGPT does, and it can pull from one source to another, so I'm not having to re-put information over and over again. I can actually tell, hey, I need you to go look at this task, and this task, and apply what out of that over here. And that way, when I'm creating, so as I continue to automate our processes, I'm able to pull what we've learned in other areas to automate over here. So just if people are looking for good ways to do it, just look at both there. And I would absolutely include automation and AI in there, especially for service like yours. Like you could literally create an agent that all they do is get up every day and post for you on Facebook into these groups and advertise, and it literally would just do it automatically. So
exactly. And Claude is amazing at that. So figured out what I needed. What do you start with? So rental, I've never done a rental business. I've catered once in my life, worked for a catering company, but I've never done a rental business. What do you start with? Okay, well, do I start with 6-foot rectangle tables, or do I start with 5-foot round tables? I don't know. When's going to be my bread and butter? And so through ChatGPT, started talking about scour the internet, find me what's mostly asked for. And we came to the conclusion that we're going to buy 20 6-foot tables and 150 white chairs. Because that would, for a wedding, graduation party.
And how much was that capital wise for you?
I think total, and I have other items in my inventory as well, I think I spent close to $8,000.
Okay.
Where are you storing it at now?
In a storage unit this time, because I'm all out of room in my garages.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said the storage by the neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And I was like, okay, this is great. This is what we're going to do. We're going to figure this out. And I purchased it, and it started coming in. So I'm the one.
So we skipped a step there.
Yeah.
So you research this, you purchase stuff.
Yeah.
How do you set up your online presence to get these jobs now? Or did you already have your first job before you?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
So I made up in my mind.
You're just going to tell people this is what you're doing.
Well, no, that April 10th is going to be the day I'm going to start. I'm going to open this business on April 10th. This is just an idea.
Easter egg hunt?
Yeah. Well, before that, or after it, actually.
Okay.
After that, it's my opening day.
Mm-hmm.
I have my friend Brandon, who owns webpopular.net, starting with my website. We're going to jump into this. And the Easter egg happened for ABA, and they're moving it inside, and they need tables. Hey, Noel, you want to bring your tables and chairs? How many tables do you have? I said, well, I have 25 actually, because my shipment got delayed, and I had already promised somebody 5 tables before the other tables came. So I had to go buy 5 extra tables. Because again, we'll figure it out, right? And we're going to jump and fly, and we'll build our rings on the descent. It's always been my mentality. We will figure it out.
Figure it out.
So,
I mean, in a sense, but you are doing that. But I want to differentiate between kind of flying by the seat of your pants. Like you are hearing there's a need for this service.
Yes.
It's not like you're like, I'm just going to wake up and do this today. It's like, no. Like, I know there's a need for it. People have asked me for it.
You did market research. You did all this stuff.
It's in my wheelhouse. I'm renting already. I would call it a side cart to your main course that you're already on. It's not different. It's not like you've got
you're not starting a bakery,
car wash business or something.
Just totally pivoting.
Yeah, no. It's
complementary to
sig categorize.
Right. And we need 100 tables. Well, I only have 25. I have 150 chairs, but I have only 25 tables. Well, what if we bought the tables and you just bought them from us? And I was like, no, absolutely not. Well, why not? I go, well, there's a couple of things here. One, I don't want all this inventory and overhead.
Yeah.
I'm a little apprehensive. 2, quality. I don't think you're buying the exact same tables I bought that my name is going to be on every time I rent them.
That's something to think about, right? This table is literally going to get beat to death because it is a rental.
Right.
And so that has to last.
And do you know how many tables that is? I would have to have a whole nother separate storage unit just for this table. That means at $10 for these 6-foot tables and $150 rental bill, I'd have to rent 15 tables a month to ensure I could pay for that storage unit, not my storage unit, just that storage unit. And I kind of had to stand firm on that. I was like, no, absolutely not. I don't know if the rectangle table is going to be my bread and butter or if my 60-inch rounds are going to be my bread and butter. I don't know, and I don't want that pressure. And I really stood firm on that belief with them. So they went with another rental business out in Justin for the tables. So April 4th comes, Easter egg hunt, and my nephew Cole, who's a football player, I said, hey buddy, we got all these tables and chairs to move. Go get one of your football buddies. I'll pay you guys. Help me move all this stuff. Rented a U-Haul because I can't fit all that in my back of my pickup. And they meet me at the storage unit. We're loading up, and it was the most hilarious thing because I know these kids are amazing kids. I never occurred to me that I'm going to have to teach you how to use a dolly. I have just 25 chairs stacked on these floor carts.
Yeah.
Bungee cord. And so you can take the dolly, lift it up, go up the ramp. That cart fell a couple times, and so got it up. Well, then now we're moving tables, and Cole's in the U-Haul, and I love him so much. He's the best kid. But this was hilarious. I said, here, Cole, and we're handing him tables. Boom, 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 boom. Be careful with the table, Cole. Boom, 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 boom. Be careful with the... They're plastic tables, and nothing's going to happen. But your mind, because they're brand new.
Yeah, you're like, I just spent all this money.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we get to the athletic center at the middle school there in Argyle, and we go to unload, and I see Simply Rentals, which is the rental business in Justin. And I walk up to her and I said, hi, it's so nice to meet you. I'm Noel. I own Ames Party Rental. I'm just getting started. And she kind of looked at me like, whoa, why are you talking to me? You're not like in a mean way, but just taken back, right?
For sure.
And I went to her and I was like, I'm just getting started, but I figure we could always help each other. If you ever need something or if I need something, I'd really love to create a partnership with you. I also own Sign Gypsies. My thought or philosophy with that business is there's plenty of grass for everybody.
Yeah.
I would love to continue that with you. And I think she was taken back by that because I didn't walk up going, competition. And we unload all the tables, all the chairs. Great event. The next day when we had to come pick up, I see Shelly again, who owns Simply, and was talking to her, and she goes, I'm really sorry I didn't have a chance to really introduce myself. I would love to sit down and chat with you sometime. And I was like, yes, this is all,
Took her a day to process.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
For sure.
Yes.
Because she went from like, all of a sudden you're a competitor, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right down the road. Like, in all fairness, like anybody would be taken back.
Well, we can speak from experience just from the roofing side is really toxic and really competitive.
Yes.
Extremely. And it's almost comical sometimes where like a storm will happen and there'll be like door knockers all over in the neighborhood and people all over, and you start to like have you, and some, not all, right? But there are roofers. I mean, I've had some crazy experience with the roofers. I had a lady, they were neighbors. She referred me to go across the street. I had tarped her house, but it was a super busy day. So I wasn't able to get to her house till later in the day. I showed up, I tarp it. I walk across the street to go tarp her roof. I knock on her door. She said, yeah. I had someone come over earlier today and they were able to do my window. If you can just get up, they said they were going to come back. And I was like, well, hey, do you want me to do it? She's like, no, my neighbor knows you. I'd love to continue to use you as the business. I'm like, oh, right. Perfect. I get up on the roof, I tarp it up. Well, just as I finished tarping the roof on the top, the roofer just somebody else shows up and is like, wants to fight me in the driveway.
Oh, wow.
Because I am at his client's house. And how dare I go up there knowing he's done work on that? I'm like, whoa, buddy. Like, I'm just here. Like, this is not that big a deal, my friend. I got a whole bunch of houses. This is all you. And so I just kind of walked away. Well, the homeowner saw the interaction.
Yeah.
And watched me walk away and go back. And then he lost that house because of his interaction. I just laughed because I was like, and I don't mean that. Like, it sucks that he was that way, but it's just like people don't understand. Just being like, there's so much business out there. Like, there
is so much.
If all of Argyle called us to do their roofs, we couldn't handle it. Well, like, it's like there's just it's not possible.
Too much.
Well, on Friday, I'm speaking on Friday. And the first hour I'm speaking on, some life experiences and stuff that I've gone through. But the next hour, the one that we have the longer time to talk
Yeah.
at, I'm going over a couple scopes of work and how we've been successful because I did it at our hard hats meeting, and I had general contractors in there that definitely do roofing, and I'm showing them the stuff that we do, and they're sitting there and they're like, Taylor, you're like pulling back the curtain on your business and showing like, and I'm like, dude,
Why
like,
not?
I was like, I want your family to grow and be prosperous. I'm like,
Super important.
anytime you have my number, call me if I can help you with a claim. And I have friends that own roofing businesses that call me to help them on claims, and I don't expect anything of it. And I had one the other day write me a $4,000 check because he paid me a percentage, and he's like, dude, I would have been able to do with this without you. This is thinking, I'm like, dude, if more people just thought that way, yeah, I mean,
We're
there's
so much better together
for sure.
Yep.
than we
Yes.
are by ourselves
Yeah.
all the time, no matter what you're doing, whether it's a team sport or you're out running your own business. And after that, I had actually called her because I needed somebody, or I needed somebody with tents. I don't have tents yet. So I called her.
You were so successful without even having a website up yet.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's still coming.
That's super funny.
So I called Shelly and we're talking. It's a 20 by 40. I mean, it's a giant tent. And we're talking.
Oh, like a party
like
tent.
a big tent.
Yeah.
And it's a high peak. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a big deal.
Have you ever set one up before?
No, absolutely not. I'm gonna have to find somebody to show me how to do this. So hopefully maybe she'll let me come when that time for that party. And I'm like, so how do we do this? How do you record it out? Making notes. So we chatted and she was amazing. And just to be able to talk, she's been doing her rental company for as long as I've been doing Sign Gypsies. So she's still fairly new. Yeah. And she goes, do you have a service fee? And I was like, no, why would I have a service fee? She goes, you need to add a service fee to all your items that you rent. This is for all your cleaning products. This is for your time for cleaning everything, stuff that I just don't know.
Because this is going to be more above and beyond what you're doing to Sign Gypsies, right?
Exactly.
Not aware of.
Exactly.
People are actually using this stuff instead of just setting it up and taking
Looking at it.
Yeah,
Thinking it's so pretty.
that makes sense.
And so she walked me through that process. I said, I see you have restrooms on your website. You're not doing the restrooms, right? Because that's not a job I would like. Like, I see you out there on your land. I'm like, no, thank you. So she goes, no, I subbed that out.
Yeah.
And okay. And so we talked, and just a wealth of knowledge and just so much. And during our whole conversation, she goes, I already lost a job to you. I go, you did? I go, but really, you did? And she's like, yeah. I said, someone was talking about a party they're having. I threw my names and they said, oh, don't worry, we already have our tables and chairs from Ames. And I was like, yes. That means I'm just clicking up where I need to be or going down that road. And she just is still amazing. And then we made plans, in July when our seasons are slower, to be really sit down and just
Help
strategize and hopefully build that friendship too.
Well, it's super important. And you'll find, I mean, you already know, like you've already experienced it in one franchise that sounds like they have a fantastic camaraderie and what's the word I'm looking for? The attitude of the business. I can't think of right now what the word I'm trying to. Culture. Culture is the word I'm looking for. So the culture that they have is important because it's taught you a different way, an important way to think about business, and then you're taking that same culture like, I'm going to apply it over here. And if you find like business people like that, you guys will all expand and surpass everybody together way faster and it doesn't matter, like it really applies for us right now, like with social media, and what's called a cohort, which is a group of people all doing the same thing that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And every week we get together and we throw everything up that we're doing and we talk about what did and didn't work. And instead of me having, let's say I put 8 hours in that week, right? I have 600 people.
Right.
That are out doing the same thing, and everybody brings their worst problem. That's like, oh, so I have 600. I have a subset of 600 other people putting in hours of work. So it's probably an entire year's worth of my work every week.
Yes.
So I am literally making years of progress in months because I'm involved in a group of people that are working together and not apart. And so that's where very important to surround yourself with people.
Yes.
Because if you have 5 or 6 more rental companies that get together, now you guys all come together with a problem. Now, are you going to learn a lot from people that have been doing it for a long time? For sure. So you need to have people that are going to be willing to share with you, but they're going to learn from you too because of previous experience and the way you run your current Sign Gypsies business. You're going to bring a different point of perspective.
I mean, I'm the type of person where we had a storm come through, I think last year sometime, and it wasn't my sign out in the yard, and I called the business. Your sign's blown up. The wind came through and just destroyed it. At this address, it was in the neighborhood, at this address, just so you know.
That's cool.
I would want somebody to know me. That's my name standing out there. And there's another lady who does signs, and it's such a fine line because you don't want to come across as a jerk.
Yeah.
You don't want to offend somebody.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go, oh, sweet baby Jesus. Can we have a chat? Can we have all your letters match? And can we bring some, can I help you? I'd love just to help you.
Yeah.
I don't need anything from it, but can I help you?
That's cool. So
Yeah, and there's a way to go about that, and I'm sure, and you're very good at that.
Yeah. So now we're
And a mom. Yeah.
exactly. You just be careful, tread lightly, I guess. And so now with Ames Party Rental, I've done 25 events. I've owned it for a month and a half? Yeah, 2 months. And I had somebody just yesterday
That's all
actually
from networking.
networking.
There's no
Well, it
SEO. There's no out.
And if there is, I don't know because my website's not up yet.
You're right. So you're not paying for advertising.
No.
You're not paying for a website, SEO, marketing. You're not doing ads on Facebook. None of that. This is all word of mouth because of your network.
Exactly. And
then your Sign Gypsies, I think, is important to correlate to that. Like, you're part of a franchise, and I'm sure they have advertising and stuff that goes on a little. Oh, they don't have any. Okay, I was assuming they had advertising.
we wish.
So, okay, interesting. Well, then it's probably the same exact way. It sounds like you don't have advertising for that either. It's just all word of mouth.
All word of mouth.
And all neighborhood.
Right. And there was somebody who wanted tables and chairs yesterday, and a friend of ours from ABA got on there. Noel Ames with Ames Party Rental.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember all of us got on there.
And everybody did. And within
3 hours.
3 hours, I already had tables delivered, tables and linens delivered to her.
That's awesome. So it's already expanding
But that also helps because here she asked for something, and within that day, it was already done.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important too. People can talk about you and talk about you and talk about you, but if you don't have integrity and you don't do what you're said that you're going to do,
Your follow through is everything.
right? Then why even bother?
Yeah, I agree.
So
let's talk about the fun part about owning a business.
Yes.
So put you on the spot. What do you feel like the biggest mistake you made so far?
I don't know if it's a mistake. I bought Trophy Club. I bought a second territory with Sign Gypsies.
I remember when you did that.
Yeah.
You were telling us
So
about that.
originally, Julia owned 3 zip codes. And since who knows who's listening, we'll just use names of the cities for the zip codes. But basically, Argyle, Justin, and Trophy Club.
Which are all, for people that are not geographically located in Texas, they're all neighboring cities.
Yes, they're all neighboring cities. She hated going to Trophy Club. It was too far, whatever her reasons were. So she broke it off and sold it. Well, after Flower Mound happened, I was like, man, I really want to do something else. I really want something. The lady who owned Trophy Club was ready to sell. And she goes, hey, Noel, I know you said if I ever wanted to sell Trophy Club, you'd be interested to come to you first. Do you want it? And I was like, yes. I can't stop doing that. I should need to learn to pause. And I was like, yes, let's do it. Actually, I think I did pause for a little bit and thought about it, but I could have paused a little longer. So purchased Trophy Club. I didn't want any of her inventory. She also still owns, her daughter and her also own another territory. So I was like, I don't need any of your inventory. I've already beefed up mine. I got Miranda nearby. Like, there's no need. Thought this is going to be great. We're going to rinse and repeat in Trophy Club. Look what I've done here in Argyle with networking and all of this. It is a different city, to say the least. And networking isn't the same. It's not that they lack networking events. I think they lack the people that go to the networking events. If you look at ABA or even North Lake networking that I'm a big part of too, we we're more like family in a way. You know what I mean? Like we see each other, we know each other, we know what's happening in your life. You all knew Harper before I ever sat down and said anything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in Trophy Club, it's just not that. It's a lot more walk around. Here's my card. Here's my card. There's none of this relationship building. And not only here's my card, but I'm going to have to come around 3 or 4 times with my card for you to maybe think about using me. And it's taken off, but nowhere near Argyle. Nowhere close. To the point where now I want to sell Trophy Club. And I'm interviewing people with prospects of just selling just that territory. Because now I'm paying $2,000 a year and having to spend $2,000 in graphics. Yet again, still not difficult, but
Yeah.
but it's still just it's not developing the way I want to. And now Party Rentals is having me go more east. Yes, instead of southeast, I'm just going more east. So
say, just from experience, anecdotal, I keep saying Roanoke, but Trophy Club.
yes, same area. Yeah.
Roanoke area. I'd say that is the more atypical experience
Mm-hmm.
for businesses, especially I would say nationwide. I don't think that you're going to find,
ABA in Argyle is an outlier.
yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
absolutely.
Well, that
Metroport Chamber isn't anything like ABA.
Yeah.
nothing.
Like, so, and
Yeah.
what we mean for people that have no idea what we're talking about, we have our business networking group that we're a part of, and everybody's very close in, and it's a very good relationship. It's very symbiotic. Multiple businesses that are the same but work together, like you talked about, and we brainstorm. We have HVAC and roofing companies that we're constantly bouncing ideas off of. It's a really awesome group, but it is that collective, that is a group of business owners. If you can duplicate that, I think that's what makes it unique. So you have a network here locally
Yes.
that you're pulling from, that's expanding in one area, but that now lacks in a new area. And so you have to go create that,
Yes.
right? And now you have a flourishing, side cart business that's doing well, right? That could easily turn into a bigger business. And it's easy because, like, oh, well, that's not doing as well. Crap, I'm gonna put my focus here, not
Yes.
here, right? And so, but that's a totally normal mistake. Like,
Yeah.
just understanding, like,
And also, but it could also change overnight.
yeah,
Because if you were to find the right few customers that were you're big in the community, right? That have been in the community, that could be your cheerleaders, where they're posting your stuff in their neighborhood pages, like we have in Harvest, right? Where everyone posts your stuff all
Yes.
the time, right? I mean, that's how Reese got you, was from ABA and senior posts in the neighborhood and
Yes.
stuff, right? And I mean, he's got 3 kids. He's used you so many times. So,
Yep.
if you found that right person, right, that could just spread like wildfire. So don't like give up
Oh, yeah.
on Trophy
absolutely.
Club,
Yeah,
because
we're
if-
not giving up. But I did
So-
interview one person who lived in Trophy Club, and I keep on thinking that's the secret sauce.
what?
Just
Yeah,
have
for
somebody
sure.
who lives there.
I was gonna say, what, like, you're just figuring that out. Is that what you're learning so far? As you feel like it's just you need to know the right people that's going to change that?
Yes, because my biggest competitor in Trophy Club area, she's in that community, just like I'm in the community in Argyle.
Right.
My kid goes to school here. You see me at football games,
Which is something for people to think about.
Yes.
Another reason why you have been more successful in your current area is because it's where you live and you're involved in the community.
Yes.
Go to the schools, you already go to everything. So to replicate that, you literally need someone that's living in the community to take
That's
ownership
right
of
there.
the business. And
Or someone who can donate more time to put themselves in that community.
or you'd have a lot of ad spend to an effective ad campaign to get in there than do what
Right.
you can do, which is a lot harder in that type
to
of
make you look like you're more present in the community than you are, right? Like that's the only like replacement, right?
Right.
Is
I need
Yeah.
to be seen that way.
right.
And I love doing stuff for the community. I'm always a big cheerleader, especially for kids.
Yeah.
They need to be seen, loved, and heard all the time. So people ask me, well, do you donate signs? Every year I donate all the UIL signs for every elementary school. They have a big snow cone party every year. So I go out and do a sign. It takes me maybe 5 minutes. It's part of their pictures. It's part of their celebration. It just adds that level of celebration to them. All the booster clubs, the baseball team, Argyle baseball team is a great example. They would hire me to do signs for their team dinners as they were making their way through playoffs. And I said, okay, if you go to state, a sign's on me. Because it's a big deal. You know how much hard work these boys put in? I got asked the other day, what are some of your hobbies? I said, sit on bleachers to watch my kid do her hobbies. Do you know how much time as parents we put into these kids and these kids? But
yes.
Right?
Especially their...
Right.
We'll talk about baseball tournaments.
Yes. So to celebrate them, even if it's not their idea at 17, 18 years old of being like, oh, that's a cool sign. Yeah. It's still, wow, look at you. Look at what you did. That's what I'm trying to say with that.
So for someone that was thinking about starting Sign Gypsies or a yard sign, what if you were to have 15 minutes with them, say, hey, I'm going to sit with you. I'm going to give you some advice. You need to listen to me. What do people need to know that are starting this type of business? Do you know people who know how to do like run numbers? No, I'm joking. Do you have a bookkeeper who could try to help you figure out the penny situation? No. Who do you know? It's always my question. Works. Right. My biggest thing is get involved with the schools, PTAs. It's hard to do free signs when you're trying to pay yourself back or pay off a loan. That mentality, but you have to do it. Get involved with the schools, even if they have a set person that they use or company they use. Let me show you the difference. That's always a big thing. Be present on all your social medias. You have to have that consistent coming up. The great thing about Sign Gypsies is I've seen sometimes my signs out in somewhere in Mississippi, the Sign Gypsies saying, hey, look at this, and using it as her own. That's awesome.
But it's free, right? The only caveat to that is make sure that you have the graphics that are used in that sign just in case they want something specific, right? Get in front of your schools, do your free signs. Social media. I told a lady I was interviewing for the Trophy Club this other day, make sure to celebrate even the things you don't think need to be celebrated. Whether, it's not just birthdays, it's not just graduations. We had a Grinch-like graphic come out this last December, and I thought, well, how fun. We'll do some free Grinch signs. Or Merry Menace is what we called it, but it looked like the Grinch. But
I guess that's licensing, right?
Merry Menace. And
that's funny.
I was like, I can do 20 of those from the 1st through the 20th of December. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, if I do 20 in Argyle, then I probably should do 20 in Trophy Club because that would be smart to get my name out there. And I remember standing at ABA mentioning this. Hey, so if you know anybody, before I left that meeting, I had 12 orders because I still made people book because I needed their information.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, great. Now I got to buy 3 of these Merry Menaces and I'm going to do 60 free signs in the month of December, to get the name out. So sometimes you have to put in that work, whether it be money or physical, driving to get your name out there and have people see it. Once they see it more often, then they know. And
the opportunity for social media is such a huge thing. And even for us, I mean, we were posting, but it was just, it's such a, we finally made a ton of headway. It is working.
He made a ton of headway. He did that.
I have to pick your brain on that one.
He's wealth of knowledge right there.
So it's such an opportunity though, and that is the reason why we're doing the podcast. It's the reason why we're doing it, because we want to bring attention to what we're doing, but we want to do it in a way, I am not going to pretend that I know everything there is to know about business, but I can interview people like yourself that have done it and been successful. Right. And people out there want to know that. And they want to talk to people because they want to hear about, oh crap, she bought a new area. Maybe she shouldn't have done that. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, she did it. What is she doing? What is she not doing? They can analyze, and it's really important to have information. And
also your story, there's going to be some young woman out there that is widowed, that no longer has a husband to provide for her and her family, and she doesn't know what path to go down in life. and she sees that you were able to do this and be successful.
And probably still hang out with your daughter and have time to spend with family, right?
And still be
right. And I mean, I was beyond lucky that Dave had life insurance and had things in place, right? So
Just a
I
plug
could
for
stay
life
home.
insurance if you don't have it.
Yes, yes, because I was able to stay home. Because never in a million years on my deathbed am I going to say, man, I really wish I worked more when she was 3 and 4 years old. Right. A lot of times we're always how lucky we are that we had time, or we wish we had more time with our loved ones. With that being said, it's just made a world of difference. But it also is part of my why with Ames. So we get a certain amount of money every month. And once Harper hits 16, my part of her caretaker money goes away. Well, that's awesome. How am I want to be able to be successful enough that that's like at 13, it could go away, right? Because I already have my system in place to be able to provide and make sure that she has what she needs.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's just, we're going to get there. I'll figure it out slowly but surely. I think I was asked, what is a saying you live by? And I was like, either make excuses or you don't do it. Or I'm sorry, what was it? How did I put it? I read it to you. Either you do it or you make excuses.
Yeah.
And if you're going to sit around and make excuses, do it quietly because nobody wants to hear you crying. No, and I know that I'm not trying to be mean.
I tease my kids all the time. Let's start to cry about something. I'm like, does it make the situation go away? No. Okay. So it's still here. So crying is not going to work. Like, what are we going to do to fix it? Like,
Right.
and it's hard, right? Even as adults, I want to kick and cry, right?
Oh,
like, I just want to sit here and not do this and complain about it, but it doesn't make the situation go away.
Right. Well, I'm talking to you about being in my lull right now. So, I did 84 signs last month, which was lower than last year, but that's okay. I also had a second business. Last year I wanted to see how many I could do by myself, right? It was kind of a competition. So at 84, I was happy. Well, this year, so far for June, I only have 20 booked. Okay, so there's that lull. And then you start thinking, oh man, why does no one like me? I know people are having birthdays, you know what I mean? And then
people are also on vacations and stuff. June, like
Right, there's all of that, but you go from like jumping out of the plane to landing and you're like, oh, that was cool. What's next? And just trying to figure out this time and how we make it work the best for us. And how do I grow the other business right now too?
That's awesome. I mean, you've got so in the last couple months, to kind of paint a more complete picture, you've got about $70,000 to $80,000 a year consistently, probably in your sign business or in the Sign Gypsies, and you already have you had $8,000 investment. What have you guys grossed in the last couple months in your party rentals?
I think right around 6,000.
Okay.
So
in 2 months, I mean so you'll be at. I mean, it's very feasible to think. And yours is a rental, right? So
yes,
we could just look at it as cash flow. You will probably be over 6 figures by the end of the year in cash flow.
I hope so.
So
I really want to be able to tell people, thanks, I don't need that right now, like money wise.
Yeah.
So it's just something about being independent too.
For sure.
Right.
It's freedom.
Yes.
So that's what I tell people. Like, I've had so many people, you want to start your business, you want to do your own thing, and there's opinions and this and that. And like, it's not about money. It's not about anything. It's about freedom to do what I want when I want. That's all it is.
When I first decided to go back to work, because I'd always promised Dave when Harper got into kindergarten, I would start working. That was our deal. Even with him past, still a deal's a deal.
Yeah.
I did wait till first grade, but a deal's a deal in my mind. And I went back to work for a flooring company. I was a QA manager, so quality assurance. So if we installed any type of flooring in your house and something happened, it buckled, it started falling apart, whatever the case may be, I was in charge of scheduling the investigators to go and see what the problem was. Was it our fault, the product's fault, or just the house? Right. And then working with the scheduling department to have installers go and fix the problem. Well, within 6 months, I'd already made it so efficient that I was pretty much sitting around for about 7 out of 8 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
Right. And I was just like, here we are again. This is awesome. I love these office jobs. Ended up quitting and went to work for a local tile place. The greatest thing about that is I found a gentleman who's a sales rep that still works there today, also from Pueblo, Colorado, where I was born. And so I now have a lifelong friend, which was amazing. But so excited to start this job. I'm going in as a customer service rep. So I'm the one placing the orders that came in from, whether you're selling tile, you're a builder, whatever, to people who are coming in just to get one-off products. But there's growth where the other company had no growth. So I was like, great, I'll become an ops manager. Or, we're going to do this. I'm also working with a whole bunch of guys. This is going to be awesome. It's not. It might not be so catty, but it's still about the same. Yeah. So I was like, okay. And I remember we had a weekly order that went out to a flooring company. And every week there was an issue, whether they were missing a certain color of grout as a one-off item or something. There was always an issue, which talk about a time suck, right? Because they're having to go through and research and see if it's really there. Send it to us. We have to do all the research, get it back out. I mean, it was dumb, to say the least. And I went to the ops manager and I said, hey, I have some ideas on how we can make this better, more efficient, And he looked at me and goes, oh, no, that's okay. We already have an idea of what we're going to do. I said, awesome. Can you share it with me? I mean, I am the one doing the job. I don't know it yet, but we have a system in place. And I was like, cool.
That's a horrible response to have from
cool.
Such a toxic guy.
Right? I was just like, thanks a lot.
That's like I have seen, and that's probably the biggest killer of morale is when you have a motivated employer, or like even, and I hate to talk about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gyms, it's the same way. Like sometimes you get businesses that have motivated employees that they have buy-in on the company. They love it, whatever it is. They have buy-in on it. They want to participate. They want to make the place better.
Yes.
And they try, and there's like,
or it's just their personality.
No.
Right?
Or just, and it's not like no, because here's a really good explanation. It's like when you were 3 and your parents told you no, and they're like, why? Because I said so.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
We're adults. This does not work anymore.
I'm like, I'm in my 40s. Are you kidding me?
I'm going to ask questions. And if you don't answer those questions, I'm probably not going to be an employee. And now, instead of having an asset, you just lost a valuable employee.
Yeah. And you created the wrong culture.
Yeah, for sure.
Clayton talked about that last week when he was on here with us, and he'll have people come in and talk to him about things, and he'll sit there and he'll ask questions. He welcomes it. Yeah. And he talks about it in their meetings. Like, hey, if you see something that we're lacking in, like, come talk to me. And he goes, I sit back, I listen, and then I ask. And then I ask questions and we work through it. And he goes, and I don't shut them down, because once you start shutting people down, you push them away, you've lost them.
There's a good story that The Rock is in an interview. I think it was with Patrick Table. They're talking, and he, it was during a time where The Rock wanted more money for what he was doing, and he compared himself to another wrestler who I don't remember, but pretty much was like, well, if he's getting $1 million, I want $2 million.
Yeah.
And the owner of the WWE, I don't know. I'm gonna get slaughtered if I was wrong on the WWE. I don't know who it is that owns the rest.
Steve McMahon.
Steve McMahon probably.
Yeah.
Told them, okay, that's great. I want you to learn the business first, and then I want you to come back and talk to me about that number. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, you're gonna shadow. Here's this guy's number. As soon as you leave here, I want you to call him. They're gonna run you through all the business. They're gonna show you everything, and then come back and talk to me when you're done. And so The Rock went and told him to take a couple months, but he says in the interview, it took him like 2 or 3 weeks to run the business down. Then he comes back and says, just kidding. I don't want 2 million. I'm okay with that 1 million, and we can go from here to here. And it was because the owner didn't hear it and just say, I'm going to shut you down. Like, that's not, like, he could have very easily said, no, I'm not going to do that. You're not going to get paid that. That's just too much. You don't know what you're talking about. Instead, he's like, hey, let me show you the business. You understand it first.
Yes.
Then come back to me and let's talk again. And he came back. And then when he offered the number again, he's like, well, actually, I'm going to give you 10 million because we're going to make X amount. And this is why we're going to make it. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he was like blown away. But the lesson is that he got thrown into the mix of the business because he was motivated, and he showed him behind the curtains to say, hey, this is how the business is profitable. This is what it takes. This is what I need from you if you're going to ask that kind of money. which is
And now he's the most successful WWE wrestler of all time.
Yes.
and spin actor. So
Yeah.
it's just it's a warning lesson for business owners that don't listen to their employees. Like, take the opportunity
Yes.
to motivate them. Like,
There's a reason. Dave used to always say there's 100 different ways to bake a cake. Probably not literally, but you get my point. Your way of baking cake, you might mix your wet ingredients a little different than I do.
Yep.
But you have to be respectful to that and to actually listen. It's just like looking at a sign. Oh, I like how they did that.
Yep.
It's not how they stake those things a little bit higher. I see how, that cluster makes more sense to me now. So here I am going at a point where I was like, this is not where I want to work. This is a joke in my mind. So end up leaving that job and spending the summer with Harper. And it was some of the best decisions I ever made, just learning that. And I think you also asked, like, when's the time that, you had a setback or whatever. And it's shortly after we moved here, because I initially, back home in Seattle, I was a flight attendant for a couple years and then lost my job. And then I was 30 and I was like, what am I going to do? Right. This is not where I thought I was going to be at 30. Yeah. And I saw my mom a nurse and my grandmother a nurse. And I was like, I'm going to go into nursing. And that's what led to being a phlebotomist. So now we live here in Texas, trying to think of what I'm going to do because I got that deal with Dave. We have to figure out what I'm going to do. And I thought I'd become a surgical tech. What a cool job. I mean, blood and gore does not bother me at all. So let's just get into it. On people. Animals is a different story. But I know that sounds weird, but like if you're bleeding, I can help you. And I was like, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go to college. I know the person who actually runs the surgical program at NCTC, North Central Texas College, right? Like, this is perfect. Talk about obstacle after obstacle, every single thing I try to do. Go to register for school. Well, it shows that you're not head of household on this page, but on this page you are. Well, I'm a widow. Well, you need to bring Dave's death certificate. Okay. Never had to do that at school before, but sure, here you go. Well, none of these classes are going to count anymore. We see you've taken anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, but you did it in a quarter system versus a semester system. So you learned the same amount of knowledge, but in less time. So you're lacking the hours. So now you have to retake these classes. I mean, it's something. Okay, let me do it online. Then to get into this program, you need to get your Hep B booster shot. You've already had the vaccine, but you need the booster shot. You need the 2-shot series. Okay, great. Go to my doctor, explain all these things to them. Start getting the paperwork, sending it in. Oh, it looks like they gave you the 3-shot series. Are you kidding me? Come on, right? I was just like, okay. And I remember sitting there in my car. I was getting ready to drive to the doctor's office, see what I could do because I didn't know. And I was like, all right, if I'm not supposed to do this, make it known. And that 15-minute drive took me over an hour because I hit 2 crazy detours to get there. And I was like, okay, so here we go. Loud and clear. Not supposed to become a surgical tech. Got it. This is awesome.
Just like on the court steps,
right?
Trying to buy that house and it wasn't available.
Exactly. Whether you believe in God, the universe, or whatever, sometimes I just feel like my higher beings are like, oh, come on, girl, this way, this way. Oh, no, there she goes again. That tenacity stick is shining through on her. Go back.
That's awesome.
Hard-headed on a different level, I guess.
Hey,
well, congratulations on all the
Thank you.
success. Like I said, you're a hero to me. What you're doing and how you're raising your daughter. I judge people on their kids.
Oh.
Harper's I know she's a great example. She's great in the community.
She went in for student council in 5th grade, and they said, okay, you need a letter of recommendation, right, from a teacher or whatever. And Harper shows up with a folder because Harper owns her own business. She's been networking for the last couple of years.
she's probably got a room full of people to give her a letter.
Right. And she walks in with a folder of I believe it was 20 recommendations, and she hands it to the teacher. And the teacher was like, you only needed 1. And she's like, sorry, not sorry. I don't, okay. but this is what I have for you. And she, she's so much sweeter than the way I just described that. But yes, and she goes in and she's just, I know every parent looks at their kiddos and is like, you're going to do something amazing.
Oh, it's Harper. I mean, you
But
don't have to be
from
biased there. Harper.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I
She's
tell her
16 for people who have no idea what we're talking about. Like
she's 12.
Oh, sorry, not 16.
Yeah, no, she's as tall as a 16.
You were saying 16 earlier, and I
Yes.
just I put the two together. But you're right. She is 12. I knew that. She's 12 years old, and she attends our networking group. Gets in front of a group of people and
100 plus.
gives a spiel not every week, but when she can in school. Her school allows her to come in, and then as well in the summertime she comes in and does it. I have a almost 14-year-old, and there's no way he's getting up in a room of 100 people and saying anything about a business or running his own business.
Well, and my siblings and I talk about that all the time. We're like, can you imagine if our parents did this for us?
Oh, it's super valuable.
The amount of confidence. I mean, she's actually stood up in front of a room of 40 people and given a showcase on her business.
I probably would have curled up into the ball on the floor at 14 in front of that many people. Like, I was petrified.
Yeah.
Petrified at that age. It took me a long time to get over stage fright and speaking and public speaking. But yeah, it's massively, like, there's no exaggeration.
I've used Harper as an example because I take
There's a
Kennedy
couple good kids
when
there.
he's with me and he's not
We also
at
have-
school, and I'm like, "Dude, heck, you're talking too." Like,
Right.
he's like, "Dad, I don't have a business." I'm like, "You work for me," like, just to get him that experience, right? Because then I'm like, "Dude, she's doing it. Like, why can't you?"
This is the same little girl. We were at a wedding reception and I didn't know the people. They were like a friends of a friend's boss. And she stood up, she was 4 or 5, and she goes, "Hi, I'm Harper Ames." Since she was 2, you'd ask her, "What's your name?" "Harper Ames," all the time. And I've never known a kid say the whole thing. But she's like, "Hi, I'm Harper Ames." She looked at me, she's like, "Get up." And I'm like, "I don't know them." She's like, "I don't care." And I was like, "Okay, hi, I'm Noel Ames. It's so nice to meet you."
That's hilarious.
I mean, it's just who she is, right? You start arguing, let me tell you something. Like I'm like, "Oh, baby girl, I can't wait to see this."
That's funny. Yeah, good for her.
Well, we'll probably have her on the podcast one day.
Yeah.
She asked about that. She goes, "I wonder if I could do that podcast one day, Mom." I was like, "I don't know, maybe."
She's not far off. She keeps going, man. Like, they got a couple. Yeah, Grayson owns his own 16-year-old dropout, high school dropout. Terrible. Like, just laugh when you say those words.
Just bought another truck. Yeah, and has 10 employees now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I don't want to talk. We talk about inside, but there's a 16-year-old in our ABA group that dropped out of high school to run his successful $1 million, or I should say million. It's a 7-figure window cleaning service that he's running at the age of 16. That he dropped.
He bought his first pickup truck before he even had his driver's license.
Yeah.
So it's
And
pretty wild.
Before that, he was using a golf cart in the neighborhood to get started.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome stuff.
Noel, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
It's a good
Thank
time.
you so much.
A quick, honest request. This podcast doesn't have sponsors. There's nothing we're selling. No ad you skipped. We pay for everything ourselves. If this was worth your time, the smallest thing you can do is hit subscribe. Takes 1 second, costs nothing. That's the whole ask. Thank you. See you on the next episode.